So we already revealed Hayden Christensen has a big role to play in Ahsoka Season 2. He will be shooting for 6 months or so. Now we have revealed Shin Hati concept art that reveals a more sinister, darker plot that is going to happen in Peridea. But a couple of days ago in that video, we talked also about the 2 parallel stories that are going to happen in Ahsoka Season 2, and I think that that's going to be Peridea and the main galaxy.
Hello there.
Hello there, folks, and welcome to Star Wars Comics, where today I want to talk about the Luke Skywalker recast that is happening right now as we speak, because there is no possibility, no version in which I see Star Wars, in which I see Ahsoka Season 2 not actually addressing the big elephant in the room, and that is the Luke Skywalker recast that has been supported by Mark Hamill himself, who has initially said that he is no longer involved in Star Wars. He will no longer be coming back in any way, shape, or form. His acting days seems like it is over. Perhaps I'm not disqualifying the Joker voice either. I would love him as the Joker too, but either way, Mark Hamill is up there in age, you know. And if Andor Season 2 is any indication, Bail Organa has already been recast. Jimmy Smits is no longer being Bail Organa in the Star Wars universe. Not comparing him to Luke Skywalker, he has a smaller role when it comes to Star Wars in comparison with, of course, Luke Skywalker. But at the end of the day, what we saw in the book of Boba Fett, what we saw in The Mandalorian, that's not gonna fly in Ahsoka Season 2, because I think what is going to happen with Ezra Bridger, Harrison Dula, and the New Republic in general is that they're in dire need of Jedi Knights to protect them against Thrawn and against the Dathomirian zombie invasion that they are about to experience. So, of course, it makes no logical sense. It makes no sense whatsoever if they actually play coy and tell us that, yeah, Luke Skywalker is somewhere in the galaxy during these events, but he's not involved. It just doesn't make any freaking sense. Therefore, of course, we have to conclude Luke Skywalker will be in Ahsoka Season 2, but they're keeping it quiet as of now.
Do it.
Since nothing has been officially leaked, since nothing has been officially confirmed about Luke Skywalker, I am pretty much assuming as of right now that in Ahsoka Season 2, Luke Skywalker will have a brief cameo with a recast of Sebastian Stan. Ever since we talked about it a couple of months ago, that Sebastian Stan has the stamp of approval by Mark Hamill himself. They discussed this in detail, where Sebastian Stan's stunt double talked about it actually, how they talked on set, and that how Sebastian Stan revealed it was in contact with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill said he wants him to replace him as Luke Skywalker for the recast, but that Lucasfilm hasn't gotten involved really. We did an appeal. We talked to Lucasfilm. I'm going to reveal later on what was said in that video, because I really feel passionate about the fact that Luke Skywalker not only needs to be back officially again. We're tired of not having Luke Skywalker content. This is criminal what's happening. I think that the galaxy deserves Luke Skywalker to be back in his true form, in his physical peak, in his force peak. He needs to be in Ahsoka Season 2, and the reason why there are no leaks and nothing has been, this happened similarly in Mandalorian Season 2. There were no leaks, nothing was said that Luke Skywalker was going to appear at the end of Season 2, but Luke Skywalker did. He did appear, and he crushed it. He was the best of the best, and you saw for a brief moment there, how powerful and how much of a presence Luke Skywalker can actually be in any Star Wars material. He dominates anything he is in, and at the same time, I think that Sebastian Stan would do it justice for sure. He has been busy with Marvel, he has been busy with Thunderbolts, and now presumably with Avengers Doomsday as well. That's why I'm saying that his busy schedule might not indicate that he will have, an extensive role like Hayden Christensen has in Ahsoka Season 2, not filming for 6 months, of course, but a brief cameo where Luke Skywalker is confirmed to have joined the fight together with Ezra Bridger. And I made videos about this. I fantasize about Ezra Bridger and Luke Skywalker on Dathomir, and what can they see there, what can they feel there. You have the Darth Maul nostalgia involved there as well. It's fantastical if it actually happens. But you have to admit one thing, that that if Luke Skywalker doesn't appear in Ahsoka Season 2 with Thrawn and the galaxy in turmoil, this doesn't make sense. Why is then Luke Skywalker building a new Jedi Order? Why isn't he compelled to protect the galaxy against threats like Thrawn, and especially something that he thought he had already wiped out, which was the Empire. The remnant of the Empire is still there, and Luke Skywalker needs to finish the job once again. Unfortunately, we know about the sequels, we know about the First Order. That's nothing new, but at the end of the day, they are kind of rebooting and restarting slowly with these new material after Episode 6, with Mandalorian, with Ahsoka, and of course Mandalorian Grogu. We haven't talked about that. The movie is coming out. Will Luke Skywalker have a cameo in there as well? Luke already knows Grogu. Luke already knows Din Djarin. So it makes total sense that Luke Skywalker could be in Mandalorian and Grogu 2, at the very least in the post-credit scene. This is why I'm saying that Sebastian Stan, for sure, I am 100% convinced that behind the scenes, similar to how they did with Ewan McGregor didn't talk about it openly, but secretly they had, meetings and talked about him coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sebastian Stan should replace Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. This was confirmed also by Mark Hamill, who said so himself. The video in question that I talked about, his stunt double, here it is right here.
You know how many conversations he and I have had about this? Literally, there was a moment that I'm like, I'm sure you've seen the picture of you as Luke Skywalker. He then told me, he was like, Mark and I have actually talked about this. Like,
that's awesome.
Not anything official on like Disney's level in Star Wars, but I guess Mark Hamill's been like, he's a fantastic actor. Let him do it. But then Sebastian, being as awesome as he is, he's like, Mark is still doing the job. I don't want to take the job from him and he's still working. You're not going to beat the original. But then his other side to it is like, they're not calling. He's like, I hear it. I'd love to do it. John is drooling because he would love to do it. It would make Anthony Mackie jealous as shit because he loves Star Wars. And they're just not calling for it.
I told you that something was in the air. I told you that something was in the air because I could feel that something was coming. So this interview is from Cantina Talk, and I will post the entire interview down in the comments. You can go watch it and support those guys because we got this news, this insane news from them. Let's immediately jump into it. The big question on everybody's mind, even to the stunt double, they haven't been calling. Meaning Disney is not calling Sebastian Stan for the recast. Why? Okay, we have to talk about this. So I think the biggest issue here is that Disney is afraid of both Luke and Leia recast. It has to be. They're just afraid that how the fans will respond. So this is the moment where I would say that in the last video, you saw how many people were supportive of the Sebastian Stan recast. Everybody in the comments were happy about a recast, and especially being Sebastian Stan, because in my mind, I don't have anybody else that comes close to how Sebastian Stan would treat the Luke Skywalker character. He's a fan. If he's talking to Mark Hamill and they already are in agreement, he has Mark's approval, we have nothing more to discuss except for Disney not calling. The reason why I'm saying they're afraid is because of fan backlash. As I said in the last video, we have some pull. It's not like nobody is asking us. We got Rosario Dawson, Mars Mikkelsen to be Thrawn. We have thrown a bunch of ideas out there that they have grabbed, but you know what it is? You know, honestly, what I think in the back of my mind, what I'm afraid of, and why they aren't calling Sebastian Stan, why they aren't even attempting for a Luke recast or a Leia recast. I'm afraid to say this, but I'm gonna say it, and the hell with it. I think that they buried the character of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. At the end of the day, if you think about it, Luke has only made cameos, like brief cameos, in Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett, and the character is essentially gone. And they want these new characters to advance their sequel trilogy or sequel era. If you think about how the series are developing, the movies, even in Star Wars Celebration, did you hear anything about Luke Skywalker in the last Star Wars Celebration? No, you didn't. It's because they want Ahsoka, they want Mando to fight Thrawn, and this whole new era to be with these new characters and a legacy character in Ahsoka. Thrawn is already mixed up in there with the EU and everything. They want these original characters to just pass on silently and not address it, but they forget that we are the most diehard fans out there. We've never had a comic series or an animated episode, anything that he just travels to Vader's castle. Let's see what the hell is out there. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but at the end of the day, this is how I feel. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. Mark Hamill has approved. The fans approve. Just check out my last video, Disney, Lucasfilm. Check out this video. Please let them know down in the comments What do you think about Sebastian Stan being recasted and playing Luke Skywalker for the Heir to the Empire era? There is just another hint that I sometimes think about, is that during the Heir to the Empire era, that Thrawn is now back into the galaxy and they will duke it out. Luke is 28 years old, somewhere around there, 28, maybe 29. And Sebastian Stan is a bit older. He's 42 now, 43 if they start shooting 44. Now in Thunderbolts, I mean, he looked great physically, but they might have that thinking that the opportunity was gone. When he was Bucky in 13, 14, it might have been great for him to be recast then. Now he's just a bit older. It's like that meme when we're saying like, take my money, Disney, and they don't want it. I don't understand. I'm just gonna continue rambling. I'm gonna end this video because I'm just gonna continue rambling.